Hello everyone, this is Joseph Pasek of BombBurner.ca. Our twice daily Fired Up show is available on 108 platforms, also on the OSG Sports app, available on iOS and Android. Welcome to a special no-holds-barred WrestleMania 35 recap with the Hall of Famer Steve Carney of WDAE Radio in Tampa Bay, Florida, the home of WrestleMania 36, and the Rookie of the Year, Giancarlo Aulino of BombBurner. All right. It's like 12:30 a.m. We're going to get through this fast. The kickoff show, let's get to some of the matches. They had a panel of Sal Roberts, Paige, JBL, Pat McAfee, Charlie Caruso, who looked amazing. And then in the opening bout of the pre-show, Buddy Murphy took on Tony Nese for the Cruiserweight title. And okay, about 10 minutes, 40 seconds in, we got a new Cruiserweight champion, Steve. You get 24 seconds. We're going to play like a basketball game. 24 seconds. Give me your thoughts.
Not a surprise. I think we all thought that Tony Nese was going to take the championship from Buddy Murphy. I thought it was a rather well-done match for the Cruiserweights. I wish they would put the Cruiserweights on the main card, though. I think it stinks that they're stuck on the pre-show because they usually have some pretty good matches.
All right, Giancarlo, you get 20 seconds.
Yeah, I liked it. Great Cruiserweight match. Really showcased Tony Nese, and now he becomes a lot more known with the general fans that just tune in for WrestleMania. So I like the match. Good win for Tony Nese and 205 Live.
Throughout the night, they used legends, like I said, JBL, Edge Christian, Jerry Lawler. Second match on the pre-show, the Women's Battle Royal. That probably will be changed next year to the China Battle Royal. Steve, 24 seconds now.
Carmella getting the win, I thought that was all right. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be Asuka that would end up getting the win, but I'm good with Carmella.
And the returning Ember Moon came back in this bout. Giancarlo, go ahead.
Yeah, another one. They actually had me there. I actually thought Sarah Logan was going to win the match, and great swerve by them. Carmella came out and won it, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with her now on SmackDown.
The Revival, Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder versus Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins for the Raw Tag Team titles. Both guys are from the New York area. Kurt Hawkins, 0-269. No more. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, you knew that they were going to have to end the losing streak at some point, and to do it at WrestleMania and to put the tag team titles back on him and Zack Ryder. I think it stinks for the Revival. But, it was on the pre-show for a reason.
Giancarlo?
I thought it was a great moment to have the losing streak finally end. And backstage, Edge and Christian took a picture with Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. And it's like a full circle moment for those guys, considering they started with Edge and WWE and now to win the titles at WrestleMania. Big moment for both Hawkins and Ryder.
All right, so we get to the final match, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Tom Phillips, Adian English, and Byron Saxton is on commentary. It comes down to the Saturday Night Live guys and Braun Strowman. Steve, you start us off.
I was disappointed, mostly because Nicholas didn't show up. I thought it would have been funny if Nicholas had shown up to eliminate Colin Jost or Michael Che. I think that would have made it a little funnier. But it was wholly expected Braun Strowman was going to win this one.
All right, Giancarlo?
Yeah, disappointing Battle Royal. There was no stars being made in that. They made EC3 look pretty weak, and it was pretty predictable that Braun Strowman was going to come out on top.
All right, so now it's time for the pay-per-view portion. Mike Rome introduced Yolanda Adams, who sang the American the Beautiful. They had helicopters fly by there. Then they had Alexa Bliss says, well, she's the host. She could snap her fingers and something special happened. She snapped it. Steve talked because Hogan came out and then ripped off her shirt, was posing with Alexa Bliss out of nowhere. Paul Heyman coming down and said, since we're not in the main event, Brock Lesnar will fight right now. That leads to Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, 2.5 minutes in. He gets beaten down. Seth Rollins gets beaten down for like 6 minutes, but 2.5 minute match. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you had to feel that there was probably going to be the time that they were going to make Brock drop the title. I'm having them go with the first match of the evening. I think he kind of made you feel, as soon as you saw Paul Heyman walking down, you knew that Seth Rollins was going to win the title.
All right, Giancarlo?
I thought it was an underwhelming match, and it could have been a lot more, considering what Brock and Finn Balor had at the Royal Rumble. I thought it was not the greatest of matches. They didn't look into it, and it seemed kind of rushed. And Seth Rollins now is the Universal Champ, and Brock Lesnar looks like he's going to fight DC now in the UFC sometime this summer. All
right, so second match, a match that we're all looking forward to. AJ Styles, Randy Orton. Match lasted 17 minutes. Giancarlo, you'll start us off this time. AJ Styles gets the victory with a phenomenal forearm.
Yeah, I liked this match. It was really good. It was a nice pace to it. It wasn't all cruiserweight high spots by AJ. And even the finish, I thought, even though it wasn't that great that they held off maybe a little, I think this is going to be a long-term feud, and looking forward to that, especially with AJ and Orton, the chemistry they had tonight.
Okay, Steve?
Normally, when you have a match like this, it's the WWE guy versus the indie guy with the non-WWE guy. You see the WWE guy go over, and that wasn't the case. I was very pleased that they allowed AJ Styles to get the win in this one, because you knew that this was going to be a pretty good match, and it turned out to be, I thought, a really good match between these two guys. It wasn't too long. I think that sometimes you could have some of those matches get drawn out if they go too long. But I thought it was a good pace. I thought it was good timing, and it was nice to see the non-WWE guy go over in it.
Well, AJ Styles did sign a long-term contract, so that's why he went over. And Steve, next was Lacey Evans doing her walk. Big deal. Next match, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso. The Usos took on Ricochet, Aleister Black, Sheamus, Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rusev, in a four-way for the SmackDown titles. I think Cesaro still doing the spin with Ricochet there. He had to do at least for 3 minutes, but we still have SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, picking up a big victory. Steve, start us off.
Yeah, I think both Giancarlo and I Usos to retain, and it wasn't a big surprise that they were going to retain. I did like the spot, the swing spot. I don't know how Ricochet could handle that, because I can imagine him passing out in the middle of that and having something bad happen. But good on Cesaro, and I thought that was the highlight of that match. Giancarlo?
Yeah, I agree. It was really good to see the Usos retain, and I thought they booked it well, and that everybody in the match had their moments. Shinsuke and Rusev had their moments. Cesaro, obviously, with the swing. Sheamus had his moments, and we really saw these NXT guys like Aleister Black and Ricochet throw out some real impressive moves in this, but really happy that Usos retained the titles in this match.
All right, then they did a Hall of Fame recap. Class of 2019 was introduced. Honky Tonk Man, Bret Hart, the Hart Foundation, Harlan Heath, and so on. And we won't touch on what happened at the Hall of Fame. First of all, it's 12:30, and second of all, I'm not going to dignify that guy with even put him on for 10 seconds. Then Shane McMahon versus The Miz in a Fall Count Anywhere match. The match lasted about 16 minutes. The Miz's father came in the ring and he wanted to fight Shane McMahon. And of course, Shane McMahon has to do that. What do you want to call it? His move, you knew something's going to happen, but a surprise, I don't think nobody predicted it. Shane McMahon getting the victory. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we both picked The Miz to win this match. But you know what? It just bolsters the fact that Shane's going to be the sneaky heel on SmackDown, and maybe the top sneaky heel going forward on SmackDown. So you want him to get victories like this, and I think it's just going to irk The Miz even more, and I think it extends the feud. I thought maybe if Miz wins in this match, the feud ends, but now I can see the feud continuing on.
Yeah, I think we're going to have another match, and it was a fun brawl, right, Giancarlo?
Yeah, this to me was one of the matches of the night. I really enjoyed it. I thought they actually made The Miz look like a superstar for once. They showed him some respect with his entrance, and just the way they treated him in the match made him look dominant. And yeah, I agree. I think they're going to extend this maybe to the Money in the Bank ladder match, and maybe we'll even see Shane McMahon in it. But I like the Miz going forward.
Money in the Bank, next pay-per-view, May 19th. Then a match that nobody called. Nobody called this. Sasha Banks Bayley took on Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Nia Jax, Tamina, Peyton Royce, and Billie Kay, the Iconics, for the ladies' tag team titles. Nice to see Bret Hart sort of walk Natalya and Beth Phoenix. Steve, tell them the surprise.
Yeah, the fact is now we have new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and it is the Iconics as they defeated the other three teams in this. And yeah, you're right. As big of a fan of the Iconics as I am, I did not think that they were going to win this match at WrestleMania. It was a really good moment. I thought it was extremely sweet. You could tell the appreciation that the fans had for the Iconics and the love that the Iconics have for this business. If you have been on social media, I think it was Billie Kay that put out on Instagram a picture of the ticket that she had where she was at WrestleMania 29 as a fan. And so to be there at WrestleMania 35 winning the tag team championships, it just shows you how far those two women have come, not just distance-wise, but as performers. They've become fantastic performers and well-deserving of the tag team championship.
All right, Giancarlo?
Yeah, I agree. I really thought that the Boston Hug Connection would retain, but it was a nice surprise that the City Iconics win, and now there could be a new rivalry now with the Iconics and the Boston Hug Connection, and really rejuvenate and add some energy into that women's tag division.
All right, so then we had the match of the night. Daniel Bryan up against Kofi Kingston. Boy, was this a match not as good. I got to say this. The match of the weekend so far was Gargano and Adam Cole. This was a very, very good match. And we got a new WWE champion, 23 minutes, 45 seconds, Kofi Kingston defeating Daniel Bryan. They had sort of a box there. We'll talk about that. They had the new title or the old title or whatever you want to call it, the replacing of Daniel Bryan's title. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think that they would let Kofi win the title at WrestleMania. I thought that, he would get really, really close, and then they probably would let him win it maybe at Money in the Bank, and then somebody would cash in and have it be a quick run, just a couple of days with the title for Kofi. But the fact that they allowed him to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania and to become I believe he's the first African-American WWE champion. Now, like Bobby Lashley was the ECW champion and Mark Henry was the World Heavyweight champion, but neither of those guys were WWE champions. So congratulations to Kofi. It was a great moment. Kofi's oldest son is a trip. I thought he was hilarious. I've never seen a kid get up on the second rope as quickly as he did, and he's got snow boots on or Uggs on, which I thought was pretty impressive. Good on Kofi. It's well-deserved, and I was so happy for him.
All right, and also they were already new shirts came out for the New Day and Kofi Kingston. The kids were cute there. Giancarlo, you're a kid, so what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a perfect match, perfect storytelling. Everything you would want in a WrestleMania main event was in this matchup, and it's for a WWE Championship. Kofi got his moment. The New Day got their moment, and as you brought up, that new merch that's going to be selling right off the shelves of WWEshop.com. That,
like they always talk about, your WrestleMania moment, that was a moment indeed. Now, this wasn't a moment, put it this way. This was a moment. Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, lasted about 1 minute. Samoa Joe choking out Rey Mysterio. Then in the back, Alexa Bliss sort of interviewing the Saturday Night Live guys. And the doctors were Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Steve, talk about that, and then we'll go to the next vote.
Yeah, with Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio, that was certainly a WrestleMania moment only because it lasted. I blinked and that match was over. I think I went and got a beer out of my fridge, and I came back and the match was already over. And then getting to see Scott Hall and Kevin Nash be a part of WrestleMania in a taped piece there, I thought it was nice to get them involved, to get them a nice paycheck, and it gives Jost and Michael Che something to laugh about.
And you know, the whole thing, nobody beat up Dominic Mysterio. What's up with that, Giancarlo?
Yeah, I'm just happy. Yeah, I'm just happy that Samoa Joe at least got a WrestleMania match. He's been unlucky the last couple of years. Even when he debuted, they haven't been able to put him in a feud, and then he got injured last year. So I'm happy at least Rey Mysterio made it to this, and it was at least believable that Samoa Joe can beat Rey in a minute, unlike Seth Rollins beating Lesnar in 2. So I like that, Samoa Joe retaining the title.
It's time for the commercial break of the show. It's Elias coming out, but this was one of the highlights of the show. Steve, because you rap, go ahead. I see you in your jean shorts. I see you wearing your bling bling rings. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, my 4-fingered rings and my hat backwards and my chain with a lock on it, because obviously I have a degree in thugonomics as well. But yeah, it was great to see old school John Cena. The crowd popped big time for him, and then he went and cut one of his old school promos, which was fantastic. He had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hands. It was nice to see. You know, it's not something that you're going to see a lot from John Cena, but it was well worth the 5 minutes that it took for Elias to get through all of his spiel before John Cena came out.
And how they made John Cena come out. Come on, you're the baseball guy. Babe Ruth, he's returning back. He's calling his own shots. Really, really good way for John Cena to come back as old John Cena. Giancarlo, your thoughts?
I really liked it, and it was something different from John Cena. He hasn't done that. The last time was when he had that match with The Rock, so he doesn't do it all the time, but when he does, it provides these nice nostalgic moments, and I thought it really delivered, especially with a guy like Elias and what his whole performance is all about.
Now, Steve,
how about the inside? How about the inside? All the inside terms that he used. I mean, I'm sure Vince McMahon was losing his mind at Gorilla Position. He talked about switching heel and burying a push. I was waiting for him to talk about a strap and somebody's gimmick out there. I thought if you do that, Vince's head might have exploded.
Well, I was surprised that he didn't talk. 2 years ago, he dropped down on a knee. Now he got knocked down by. Never mind. All right. So also, Steve, I got to ask you, and Giancarlo, do you have any piercings? Because I know Triple H will take a wrench and pick out the piercings. The next match, Triple H, Batista. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, that had some of the goriest. I was wondering, like when Triple H pulled out the needle nose pliers and was like, okay, what is he going to do with needle nose pliers? Is he going to try and pretend to pull out his fingernails one by one? But going after the nose ring and then actually ripping out the nose ring legitimately, I was shocked that they did that. That was kind of crazy that you saw that happen on a WWE event, because that's not something you're normally going to see. That's straight out of ECW or CZW nowadays. You would see that. You don't normally see that in WWE. That was kind of crazy.
And then a good way to end it, 25 minutes, Triple H defeating him in a no-holds-barred match because of Ric Flair helping Triple H. So it was great. Giancarlo, what did you think?
Yeah, for what it was good. Batista is 50 years old. Triple H is around there, but there's no reason these guys should have went 25 minutes. The longest match of WrestleMania 35.
Batista almost fell getting in the ring.
Yeah, that was rough. I think 15 minutes would have been more suitable, but to what it was in this stage of Batista's career, I thought it was a real good farewell match if this is his last match.
All right, so we had some highlights with NXT, Kofi Kingston, but this doesn't matter the match. Kurt Angle, Baron Corbin, farewell match for Kurt Angle. This is a low light. Like, Steve, go ahead. I don't even want to talk about this match because it's like Baron Corbin is like Giancarlo Aulino fighting in the ring.
Well, then they did their job because this was all about trying to bring extra heat on Baron Corbin from the crowd, and what better way than to actually have him go over on Kurt Angle in his final match. Kurt's always going to go. Was going to be the type of guy. He's old school. He was going to go out on his shield, and I think that most people wanted John Cena. Even Baron Corbin made light of it in the middle of the match. He did the "You Can't See Me" in the match, but I think this is great for the fact that it's going to get a ton of heat on Baron Corbin, and he's going to be even more reviled and booed on SmackDown Live. Should be and on Raw. It should be fun.
Carlo?
Yeah, I agree. They did their job here with Baron Corbin, and they could have done like Undertaker attack him and come in because we haven't seen him throughout the night at all, and he was like one of the names, and it would have just been another match like Undertaker and Triple H and Batista. So the way Baron Corbin came in, one, they have like a long-term planning with a heel and Baron Corbin on Raw. So I think that's the positive out of this whole experience of watching that.
The Demon Finn Balor squashing Bobby Lashley, winning the title in 4 minutes. Giancarlo started us off.
Yeah, this match under 5 minutes, the Intercontinental title. I think it didn't live up to the hype of what it could have been because Finn Balor and Bobby Lashley have had good matches in the past, but yeah, I don't think it does anything good for Bobby Lashley, and Finn Balor gets the Intercontinental title again, probably even going to SmackDown in the shake-up actually.
Giancarlo? Steve, sorry.
Yeah, it was weird. I think that it really did hurt Bobby Lashley. I mean, Finn Balor powerbombed him, for crying out loud. Finn Balor's like 180 pounds, and he's powerbombing Bobby Lashley. Come on, I thought that was. I thought it was impressive that he was able to pull off the move, but you shouldn't be doing that. That's what Seth Rollins beating Brock Lesnar in 2.5 minutes.
All right, Alexa Bliss came out and announced a MetLife Stadium record of 82,265, and then she said, it's time for a break. R-Truth Carmella comes out, do their 7-second dance break that lasted more than Finn Balor's match, put it that way. All right, then it was time for the main event of the evening, but they did have a great promo video for WrestleMania 36 from Steve's home state in Tampa, April 5th, 2020, with a pirate ship, really cool. A helicopter was then shown flying over the stadium that brought Charlotte Flair, yes, a helicopter. She came in a helicopter to the main event, and then, of course, Ronda Rousey was being sung in Bad Reputation by Joan Jett. A man came down. Steve, you'll start us off with the first ever ladies main event.
I thought there was going to be kind of a dusty finish, and you saw it at the end with a crucifix by Becky Lynch. Obviously, Ronda's right shoulder was up at the beginning of the count, and so I think that's probably going to be the big question going forward. Is the winner take all really in effect? Will there be a restart if somebody says, you know what, the referee was wrong? We're gonna have the match begin again here on Raw, and then have something else happen and have it on SmackDown. I mean, we could have this match 2 or 3 times here before we actually get Becky Lynch with both titles. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Giancarlo.
Yeah, I really like the match. It's just the only thing was the finish, like Steve mentioned. I kind of think it took a little bit away from the moment of Becky winning because from the Royal Rumble to now, they've been booking her really well, and I thought a definitive win, like a clean pin or making someone tap out, would have been a much better finish to the show.
All right. Overall,
here's the dusty they should have had. They should have had Becky put Ronda in the disarmer and then have Charlotte get her in the figure eight and have Ronda tap out, and then we can go who's the champ and go from there. That's the dusty finish that I wanted, and I thought would have worked out a little better. Although it would have left WrestleMania in a cliffhanger, which I know they don't like to do, but that sometimes happens in television. You leave on a cliffhanger.
And I think I forgot. Did I mention Roman Reigns Drew McIntyre match? I think I forgot
no,
that.
You didn't.
I did. Okay, so go ahead. It's already 1 o'clock in the morning. I had 17 beers. Go ahead.
Yeah. You went off stone cold on this one. I was kind of surprised that they didn't have Drew McIntyre win this. I talked with my buddy Trey Downey on Talking Combat about how they were going to do this and try and keep Drew McIntyre as strong as he's been booked. It would be difficult for them to keep him as strong if Reigns goes over. And I think that McIntyre did take kind of a step back, but you almost had to have Reigns win this match. It wasn't an awful match, but I'm glad it was short.
All right, so Giancarlo, what were your thoughts and rate WrestleMania 35?
Yeah, everything, Steve. I pretty much nailed it there. I think it wasn't a squash match, so that one was a positive out of that. But Roman Reigns, I knew that they probably weren't going to want to make him lose 2 years in a row, considering how he lost last year to Lesnar. So it was a big win for him here, and with his story of coming back. And Drew McIntyre, I think his time will come in the next couple of months. He'll get a big win.
All right. Just a side note, I'm looking at Daniel Cormier's Twitter. He says, Brock got beat up. Interesting, because that's probably Brock Lesnar's next fight. Steve, what do you rate this WrestleMania? And first of all, NXT was way better than WrestleMania.
Well, that's to be expected. NXT didn't have 17 matches, for crying out loud. For the most part, I would say that I would say it's probably close to an A-, but the Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio, and I thought that the Roman Reigns Drew McIntyre and the Rollins Lesnar matches pull it down. I'd give it a B+.
All right, so Giancarlo.
Yeah, I give it a B, just because like some of the matches, like some ran a little too long, and then there were some squashes that I don't think really need to happen that way. But I was entertained throughout the show. Some of the finishes were really good and surprising. It wasn't all predictable throughout, so I thought it was a B.
And Steve, just want to touch on Saturday's Ring of Honor show. Enzo Amore and Big Cass interrupted. They're in Ring of Honor. Anything stand out for you for the Ring of Honor Supercard?
Yeah, that is Enzo, NZO, and Kaz XL to you, boy. For me, I thought Dalton Castle turning on the boys was kind of a surprise. I thought that the Honor Rumble, I wish that they had done. I wish it had been a little more organized. I didn't think that was too impressive. But and then of course I thought that the two matches at the top of the card, the Ring of Honor triple threat match between Jay Lethal and Matt Taven and Marty Scurll was excellent, and I thought Jay White and Kazuchika Okada was awesome. So I was really excited that they had all of this wrestling that was so good, and even WrestleMania, even though it was a B+ Mania, I still thought that it made for a really good weekend of action.
That is the greatest thing you said in a long time. A B+ Mania highlighted by a B+ player, Kofi Kingston. How do you like that? At 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm still sharp. All right, Steve, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. Check out my podcast about wrestling and UFC called Talking Combat. with my friend Trey Downey and myself. You can follow that on Twitter at TC on WDAE, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Steve Carney. Check me out on 95.3 WDAE in Tampa, which is on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, Giancarlo Aulino.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at John_411, Instagram at Giancarlo_Aulino, and check out all my articles on barnburner.ca.
And just a side note here, kudos to Shane and Travis Brown, along with Davey Boy Smith. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say anything else. Steve, thank you for staying up. Giancarlo, edit out this show. We'll speak soon. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Joe.